Hello friends, welcome to SahuStudies. In this video, we are going to discuss about context transition with the help of a calculated column in Power BI. So, what is context transition? So, context transition is the process of turning raw context into the filter context. By default, calculated columns understand raw context but not the filter context. To create a filter context at the row level, we need to use calculate. So, what is the raw context and what is the filter context, and how, with the help of a context transition, we can create we can transition filter context into raw context into the filter context. So whenever we are creating a calculated column understand the raw context, but it does not understand the filter context. So for instance, so suppose here we are just creating a calculated column, sum of the quantity sold. So we can see whatever the value it is there, same value it is repeating, because it knows the here because there is a no filter context. It knows the raw context, but here it does not. Here it is not knowing the filter context. That's why for every row, same value is there. To solve this problem, what we can do, we can create this. So here, if you want to put the row filter context as well along with the row context, then we need to use this calculate. And in the calculate, this we can just put whatever the aggregate function we want to do. What it will going to do, it will just turning the raw context into the filter context, and the value will going to populate accurately. Here you can see, here the quantity sold is 6, here the quantity sold is 6, here the quantity sold is 7, here the quantity sold is 7. Here in the sum of the quantity sold, what it is doing, it is calculating all, aggregating all the quantity sold, and it is put on the each row the same value, because it does not know the filter context. Here raw context is visible. To convert the raw context to the filter context, we need to use calculate function. In this exercise, we are going to use this data model. If you want to understand the data model, then please watch video number 12 in this playlist. Here, what I am just doing, I am just creating a column, and I am populating the value with the help of this sum function. And we are taking the value from quantity sold. We can see this is the output. The value is this one. What it is doing, it is taking all the value of this column, doing the sum aggregation, and the same value it is repeating for each and every row. Here, why it has happened, because here raw context is visible, but the filter context is not visible. That's why the value is not populating rightly. So let's do this exercise in the Power BI. Let me go to the table view. Here AP retail sales by store. Let me create a new column. Let me give the name is AP retail quantity sold sum. How how we are just populating sorry, how we are populating this value? We are populating with the help of sum. And what the sum we are doing? We are aggregating value of quantity sold. AP retail sales by store quantity sold. Let me run it. We can see same value it is populating here. Same value. Because it knows the raw context, but it does not know the filter context. That's why it is behaving like this. The same value it is populating. Now let's create another table. Sorry, another column. Let me give AP retail quantity sold calculate. How the value will going to populate? It will going to populate with the help of a calculate. But in the calculate here, here, okay. Before doing this exercise, let me go to the PPT and discuss this thing. So what it is doing here? Here I am just creating a measure, and in this measure we are using this calculate function. In the calculate, what we are doing, we are just aggregating all the values which is present in the retail quantity sold. Here we can see the value is 4. Whatever the value it is present here, the same value is present here also, because this calculate will going to transfer the context from row context to filter context. So the context transition has happened here with the help of a calculate function. So the filter is transferred at the row level. That's why for each and every row, same value is getting populated. Here the value it is populating the right value. So whenever there is a requirement to do the context transition from row level to filter context, we need to use calculate function. So let's do this exercise on the Power BI. Here till here we have written the code. Let me use this sum, and in the sum what we are just doing, we are doing the aggregation on AP retail sales by store what the quantity sold. Let me run it. See, the value is populating 10 only, because in the quantity sold column the value is 10. That's why for each and every same value it is populating, because we are taking the value from this column only. And here the context transition has happened from row context to filter context. Here the transition was at the row level. That's why for each and every row same value is getting populated. Here what has happened, the row level context transition to the filter context. That's why correct value is getting populated. So whatever the value is present in this column, same value is getting populated in this column. So let's go to the PPT. In this video, we have seen how context transition happened, how we can transfer the context from row label to filter label with the help of a calculate function. Thank you. If you like content of my video, then please subscribe my channel, like it, comment on it, and press the bell icon to get notification whenever I add videos.